guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I am a woman in long-term recovery. I am also a CARC, a CRPA, a rape crisis counselor, and a Narcan trainer. If you look in my little description box down below, you will find the link to a lot of things. Oh, I'm sorry, my cat is literally pulling my hand to pet her. Luna is here. She's, I guess she's feeling clingy today. She's normally very independent. So, okay, you can come on. Okay. So, anyway, if you look in the description box down below, you will find the link to be able to write my stepson if you would be so inclined to. He is in county jail facing up to a year for silly probation stuff. I did a whole video about him if you're interested. Also, below is the wish list, the Amazon wish list. Sorry, she's got me all confused. Is the Amazon wish list that I use to help people in my local community who are just really struggling or just new home from prison and jail, out of rehab, just need some help. You know, you'll find everything from food to hygiene items to baby stuff. And, you know, all my social media platforms. I just started a TikTok. Go check it out. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, so go check out my TikTok and, you know, make fun of me. And just some stuff that I've been involved with. You'll also find the link to Smacked, which is a documentary that I was in with now, who has become my good friend, Jessica Vecchione, was the director. Back then, I didn't know her from a can of paint. But she's an amazing woman, and she really advocates hard for people in recovery and an active addiction. And I just truly love her. So go check that out as well. So today is a little story time about being snitched out in a strip search. And it is a personal story because I was snitched out in a strip search. So, as many of you know, I was an inmate in the good old state of New York, and I was an inmate at Bedford Hills Correctional Facility. So every female that gets incarcerated for state penitentiary in New York State goes to Bedford Hills Correctional Facility. They go to Bedford Hills because Bedford Hills is the only female max in New York State. So it applies for men too. Like if men are incarcerated, they go to a max for classification also. So everybody goes for classification. Classification means the officers look through your previous charges, what you're convicted of, if you're violent, what's this like, what's that like. If you were born in this country, unfortunately that plays a part in it. I have no idea why, so please don't even ask. It's not my doing. So they go through, you know, a whole rigmarole of all kinds of stuff, and then you get classified. Classification is either maximum, medium, or minimum. There are no longer any minimum facilities for females. I don't even believe there's any for men. So if you are minimum or medium, you all go to medium. If you are max, then obviously you stay in Bedford for the max. I am minimum. I was going across the street to Tched Correctional Facility, which is also in Westchester, New York. So in order to get across the street to the different prison, you have to be transported. And it's a whole thing because it's a security risk because you're taking inmates out of one locked facility to go to another, you know? So I've been down this road before. I know what it's like to go on a transport. I've been transported to every female facility in New York State. Sadly, I said, I know how long it takes them to give you your feed up bag. So your feed up bag is what you pack your belongings in. It's literally like what it sounds like, a feed up bag. It's like if you saw feed, like crack corn, whole corn, that's what your belongings go in. It's basically like a burlap sack, but just a white plasticky kind of version, if you will. I'll try and find you guys a picture so you can see what I'm talking about. So I said, I'm not going with no means of money or a way to support my smoking habit, because at the time I smoked. I quit smoking, oh geez, it'll be 2 years this August, possibly. Something around there. Yeah, I haven't smoked in a long time. Thankfully, I'm very blessed. So I was like, I'm gonna boof some tobacco. Like, I know how this goes. I'm not gonna be able to buy stamps, nothing. I'm gonna boof some tobacco. Hindsight, very stupid decision. I'm not by any means condoning what I did. I'm not saying it's cool. I'm not saying it's a good idea. And in no way, shape, or form am I encouraging anybody to try this fuckery. But I'm just giving y'all a story time. So I overhear this girl, Lisa, that is also on the transport, saying to some of her friends, because we were like one bunk over, she brought subs in with her. So she's bringing her subs with her, like, and she knows they're going to go through the seam of her Bible, you know, the binding of her Bible. She's like, I'm going to boof them. So she asks me, a couple questions. Do you know how to boof stuff? Do you know how to do this? So I'm like, yeah. I don't think anything of it. She's boofing something. I'm boofing something. Whatever. Stupid decision on my part. So now we're downstairs lined up to get strip searched before we get cuffed and shackled to go on the van to go across the street. There's probably about 20 of us. She's online. Then there's this new young little girl who looks petrified online. And then it's me. So when there's doorways in the prison, you are not allowed to stand in front of them. You cannot block them. If there's a water fountain, you can't block them. So now she goes into the room, Lisa. There's the new little girl standing at the, end of the doorway because she'll be next. And then there's a doorway behind her. So I'm past that. And then there's a water fountain. So I'm past that. So I'm a good 5-6 feet behind the entrance of the strip search room. Now the new little girl is standing there. There's only like a shower curtain that's there. So you can hear everything that's going on, but you can't see anything because they're like really in the room and it's like a frosted plastic shower curtain. And I think they do that for safety reasons for the officer. In case some shit goes down and they need to verbally yell for help, they're able to. So I notice Lisa goes in real quick and comes right back out. The little girl, before she goes in, as she's walking in, she looks at me, she shakes her head. And I'm like, no? Okay, no, okay. No idea what the fuck's happening. Lisa went in real fast and came out real fast. All of a sudden, the new little girl goes in real fast, comes out real fast. Later on, I find this out. So later on, I go in, right? It's my turn. I'm taking off my clothes. I'm about to do my thing. Before I even, get my pants and panties off, she's like, where is it? The officer. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? She's like, where is it? Give it to me. And I'm like, ma'am? She's like, give it to me. I know you have tobacco boofed. Give it to me now. And I'm like, the fuck? What do you mean? So now I'm thinking in my head, do I really want, is this pick and choose your battles? Do I really want to fight this out? Because they will throw my ass in shoe, special housing unit, and they will get an order, and they will take me to the doctor and have gynecologists go in and remove this shit from inside my hoo-ha. So I'm like, all right, here you go. They bring the sergeant in, and the sergeant was like, all right, listen. She was like, you didn't lie. You didn't give us a rigmarole. We didn't give you time to lie because we knew before you even got in here. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, what? What? Okay. Now, they write me up with a misbehavior report, a ticket for smuggling. They didn't write me too dirty. They could have wrote me really, they could have hammered me on it. I probably could have got 6 months in shoe. But they really didn't. They were all right. I definitely deserved the 6 months. It was a stupid decision on my part. So we get in the van to get transported, and the little girl is behind me because I'm getting in last, one of the last ones to get in, right? And the little girl leans forward and she whispers in my ear. She said, Lisa told them you had tobacco. I heard her. So I turned around and I winked at her and I was like, all right, I got something for that ass. Okay. So we're in the fucking van, right? And there's a plexiglass divider and the officers have their music on and, they're talking. They're not hearing us. They don't care. So Lisa was 2 people over from me. I'm like, yo, you get that Suboxone through? Everything all right? Because I got popped. You get that Suboxone through? And everyone in the van's like, oh, shit. And I was like, oh, right. Because you told on me, you got it through. Good looking. So half that's mine, right? She was like, she didn't know what to say. Mind you, when I came out of lock, every time that bitch saw me, she looked down and walked the opposite way. I was so fucking mad. I ended up getting 90 days in lock behind that. Thank God there was a newer sergeant there that just came from a men's facility. And he was like, oh, they're females. They're not that bad. He was actually a super cool dude. I wrote him. And he was probably like, this bitch will not stop writing me, asking for a time cut. Please, I know what I did was wrong. And finally, one day he comes in front of my door and he's like, oh, Fogliano, you're the one who writes me 3 times a day. And I'm like, sir, yes, sir. And he was like, tell you what I'm going to do. He's like, I'm going to give you a time cut. He's like, but you're going to have 60 days over your head until the day you leave my facility. He said, you get another ticket and you come to lock. He said, you will do whatever you get charged with. He said, and I will give you the max that you can get charged with plus those 60 days. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, okay. When I tell you, I didn't breathe out of line in Taconic because I was not going back for 60 plus days. It was not happening at all. Lisa ended up going to lock several times. She ended up coming up with dirty urines several times because they will randomly pull people and take your urine. It was just a disaster, and it was definitely not how I wanted to start my career at Taconic. But, you know, everything happens for a reason, and I think all the things that happened to me during my incarceration all happened for a reason. It all was putting me on my pathway to recovery, you know, and it just goes to show, like, how far you'll go for an addiction, even just for tobacco. And it was such a foolish decision. Like, it was such a stupid thing to do, but I did it. So that is this was a very lighthearted story time. I know you guys are always like, your story times are not lighthearted. They're scary, but I hope you guys think this one was lighthearted. Otherwise, I don't know. I give up. So I hope you guys have all been having a really great week. We are having another snow day. And unfortunately, Jared is outside and work in this. So for Friday, I'm going to try my hardest to get up the Q&A for Jared and I. That should be a good freaking time. So I will see you guys on Friday. Bye.